Playing professional football is the dream of many a young footballer. It's a high-risk career option, but money, glamour, fame and the love of the game lure thousands of youngsters to dream.
Come on, footman, mean it!
Of the thousands playing football in the country, not one Asian has made it to the Premier Division.
Have some more side skip.
Over a 3-year period, we follow the fortunes of 3 youngsters who are determined to be the first Asians to reach the Premier League.
The plan for today is to win the game first and then celebrate afterwards, eh?
Kevin de Austin is a structural engineer. He runs the local under-13s team, the West Hendon Boys, from his house in Stanmore. Ryan, his eldest son, has shown early talent and plays as a striker in the team. The West Hendon Boys have made it to the semi-finals of the Middlesex Cup. It's a big day for all the family. Ryan has been playing in the Sunday League since he was 9. This is where most youngsters get their first taste of competitive football.
Midfield, back you come!
Of the hundreds and thousands of youngsters playing at this level, only a few ever get to the top.
Hit it, Jay! Hit it! Oh,
Ryan dreams of being one of the small handful who become professional footballers.
I want to get as far as possibly can, but if
Which is what?
Which is
international.
Where you
I'm aiming to get to international, but
which means what?
Playing for my country and just playing for my club.
I want to see Ryan make the big time, as much as I would like to make the big time, but him making it is as good as me making it, really, I suppose. So you get a lot of support from your parents to do this?
Yeah.
No. My mum's like saying, "Oh, you shouldn't go. It's too cold and everything like that. Your fingers will fall off."
Is she happy with you being a professional footballer?
No, she said, "Oh, you have to be an accountant or a doctor or something like that, or a lawyer."
My mum wants the money, so she wants me to be a footballer.
Where we lost it there for a 5-minute spell is because the two of us...
Football comes first to him. You know, they live and breathe football, and Kevin sort of, I think, is living his youth again through Ryan, you know, because he was once a good footballer and he was with Fulham and he wanted to pursue that career.
Just enjoy the rest of the day, lads. You've earned it. It's your day again. You are my boys. You've taken me to my dream cup final again. And no one is going to keep me away from that cup final this year again.
Football all the time of the weekend. There's nothing else that happens. There's training on a Saturday, training midweek, and then football all day at matches. We do have a lot of rows sometimes, you know, and especially because he's running the team, there's so much involved. And I've said to him, that's all you care about, but at the end of the day, you know, we all enjoy it.
And I walked in there and they said, you won then,
when we went to that club site. Oh, beautiful site.
And I said to him, oh, that's nice. I said, they're only kids. So he says, why don't you shut up and start shouting again? I said, why don't you shut up?
I suppose there was very little in our lives anyway until the football came along. You know, it was always children, the whole house building or getting our home straight and all that. And then suddenly football's just started and overtaken. I mean, I haven't done work to this house for years now, and she moans at me about that.
Ryan is approaching his 13th birthday. To achieve his ambition of becoming a professional footballer, his next step must be a traineeship at a big club. Koya is the same age as Ryan, and he lives with his mum in Holborn. Unlike Ryan, Koya has no parental support. However, as luck would have it, he lives a few blocks away from Peter, a chauffeur by profession and manager of the local football team.
Well, I met Koya about 3 years ago now. Used to play with my son, and they were kicking the balls around, and a guy came up and wanted to get a football side together, and those two he picked, and from then on it's just escalated from there. He's gone from strength to strength, won untold trophies.
Koya's talent became evident early on, and Peter was so impressed that he decided to take him under his wing and manage his career, as Koya's mum is housebound and has no interest in football.
His dad died when he was young, so obviously there was a little bit of a struggle there. But Mum and his older brother have done fabulous with the kids, bringing them up, which is where I come in, which is where I try to take him under my wing and guide him as best I can. I've got his mum's and his elder brother's permission to look after him and make the decisions for him regarding anything to do with his football. So far, I think I've been right in how I've directed him.
Morning, Jim. Morning, boys. Terry and Koya play in the centre. Phil play wide on the left today, just to start off with. Then he went to start.
Under Peter's guidance, Koya has decided to leave the Sunday League and join a professional club as a trainee, a necessary first step for those who want to play professional football.
Think for yourself. Don't expect Peter, Jimmy and myself to do it all for you. Think for yourself. Get in line with the ball. It's a good first touch. I'll help you set the rest of the attack or whatever up.
He now trains and is on forms with West Ham. They think the world of him.
Koya, come here. If you go on the ball a minute, I'll call you.
I think in Koya's case, he's got a bee in his bonnet that he wants to be the first Asian kid to play for England.
Koya has been lucky to have a guide like Peter on his journey.
The last 2 years have been a pleasure with him to see his progress, and I just want to be part of the kid carrying on again, because he's, as I say, he's a dream.
Be a professional footballer.
What does it mean?
Huh?
What does it mean?
Play at the top level.
What's the top level for you?
Premier League.
What's your next step then?
Playing for England.
Wow. Do you like that idea?
Yeah.
And do you think you'll get there?
Yeah, probably if I work at it.
When we first met him, he was very raw. He's still got a hell of a lot to learn, but he's coming into his own now.
Koya, now nearly 13, is regarded as one of the best footballing talents at his age group playing in the southeast of England. And he's been recommended by his club to attend a coaching course for gifted players at Bisham Abbey, the home of English football. Koya must impress the coaches here to progress to the next step on the professional ladder, a chance to get into the National School of Excellence at Lilleshall. Amrit is over 14 and is a year ahead of Ryan and Koya. His dad works as a welder at the local Ford plant, and he's already a schoolboy trainee with Derby County.
I want to play in the World Cup. That's my ultimate ambition. Winning the World Cup. for?
England, really.
Though not a footballing man himself, Amrit's dad has developed an interest in the game, and unlike many of his generation, is keen to see Amrit playing professional football.
ਬਹੁਤ ਵਾਰ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਡੈਡੀ ਮੈਂ ਫੁੱਟਬਾਲ ਖੇਲਣਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਫਰੈਂਡ ਖੇਲਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਦੀ ਬੋਦਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਖੇਲੀ ਚੱਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਫਿਰ ਉਹ ਕੋਈ ਆਪਣੇ ਫਰੈਂਡ ਤੋਂ ਕੋਰਸ ਦਾ ਫਾਰਮ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਇਆ
I got started by one of my mates, a long time ago. He gave me a football form. And I brought it home and showed it my dad. There's a little brochure and you had to fill the form and send it away. And I gave it to my dad and he sort of looked at it, signed it, and he said I could go. That's how I started.
ਫਿਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਦੇਖਣ ਵੀ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਾਈਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਤੇ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਖੇਲਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਮੈਚ ਤੇ ਖੇਲਣ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਡਲ ਜਿੱਤ ਕੇ ਲਿਆਇਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਉਦੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਫਿਰ ਇਹਨੇ ਡਰਬੀ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਲਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੂੰ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਈ ਵੀ ਨਾਲ ਰੱਖ ਨਾ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਜੇ ਤੂੰ ਇੱਧਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਈ ਤਾਂ ਹੋਊਗੀ ਮੋਸੇ ਜੋਬ ਤਾਂ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਹੀ ਸਕਦੀ ਆ ਸਾਡੀ ਤਾਂ ਇਹੀ ਟਰਾਈ ਆ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਈ ਵੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੋਲ ਰੱਖੇ ਉਹਦਾ ਟਰਾਈ ਕਰਦਾ ਆ ਅੱਗੇ ਦੀ ਲੱਗ ਗਿਆ
Amrit's bid to become a professional footballer demands a lot of commitment from his dad. He has to ferry him to training twice a week and to trials and matches on weekends. His career option at this early age demands as much commitment from his family as it does of Amrit.
I'm happy. Sometimes I'm too much worried. Some people have the leg broken and play football. I'm sometimes really worried.
Being Asian and being an Asian footballer is hard. Some people, I'm not saying people do, but some people might discriminate you against your race and colour. But it gives me an extra drive to prove people wrong that Asians are not good enough to play football. And all they're good enough is for shops and the other jokes, whatever they make of us.
Amrit is hoping he will be selected for a trial for the England under-15s team this summer. Middlesex Cup final day. It is West Hendon's last match and a day of mixed emotions. Ryan has received good news. He's been offered a traineeship with QPR. But this will mean he can no longer play in the Sunday League. So both he and Kevin want to go out on a high note by winning the last match.
It's a sad day for me. I don't think it's sunk into the boys yet. But I know it's the last time I'm going to be at a cup final with my team. It's the last day we're going to play an 11-a-side match together as the team.
Come on, Andy!
Come on, Billy! Come on, Hendon! Come on! You don't want this, come on!
Great ball, son!
In a fiercely fought encounter, Ryan scores the winning goal. The Sunday games will become a cherished memory for Ryan and his family, and no one is sure whether he will make the grade at QPR.
We've always played Sunday football and you want to win all the time, and that's what sort of like makes it so exciting, winning the game and stuff like that. But I don't know what it's going to be like with QPR. Really don't know what to expect.
good news for Koya. Peter has received a letter inviting him to a trial for a scholarship to the National School of Excellence at Lilleshall.
A few forms here that Mum's got to sign.
Yeah.
One's to your doctor. So they can send your medical history to them. So that if you go through to March, then they need that permission to go through and speak to your doctor. Other than that, I'm so chuffed for you. I really am.
The trial is not just important for Koya, it's a big occasion for everyone involved with his career. Koya's former Sunday League coach, Steve Leonard, has taken time off to give him moral support.
He's done really well. It's very hard to get to know Koya because he's very quiet and he don't say too much. And I don't know what goes on in his mind, because when I was very young, I'm talking about when I was under 10, we used to take him to tournaments in South London. And, you know, they used to give him quite a bit of a bad time. We'd go all the way over there and there'd probably be me, Pete, a couple of the mums and dads, probably maybe half a dozen. And the other sides would probably have 50 or 60. And, you know, they was pretty racist, you know, as far as Koya was concerned, because he always had the ball and he always looked so much bigger. And they used to scream and shout. Never used to bother him. In fact, there was times when we was over there when I used to say halfway through the tournament, come, we go home. I'm not going to have this no more.
Although I've looked after him, he's not my son, but it's still a great thing for me for him to get there, but I don't feel the tension that the others are feeling. It seems they're very nervous. Some of them you can see it on their faces, others are just as laid back, don't care. And again, some of them tell their kids just go out and enjoy it. The guy inside there said that he's going to get a shock because he's now playing against kids where he's not going to have it all his own way.
They're all as good as him now, aren't they? All the boys.
Yeah.
These are all the best from all over the...
anywhere now. So it's a case of sorting out the wheat and the chaff, really.
We'll look at them technically in terms of the passing ability, the defending ability. Are they clever? Are they inventive? For example, if you're looking at a midfield player, is he a good passer of the ball? Does he create things? Has he got good mobility? Has he got potential to grow in terms of getting a little bit bigger? Because we don't want to pick the biggest and strongest, because obviously these smaller ones at the moment will overtake them technically and physically as they develop.
He's not far off here. He's a couple of months away from getting a scholarship, and the guy just in there sold us £15,000 a year it's worth. I could take him as far as I can in my little way, but it's all down to him on the pitch now. It's how he performs, because the guys sitting up in that stand there are the ones that decide whether he goes any further now. March is the big one. When he gets that little envelope come through to say, yes, we'd like you to come to Lilleshall and stay with us, or sorry.
This is a big day for Umrit. He's been invited to take part in a trial which could give him a place in the England under-15 team.
Got a lot of football this year. It's a very important footballing year. If I do well this year, then I've got a very good chance of becoming a professional footballer. But if I don't, then it could all fade away.
And clean boots creates a good first impression. You've got today only to create a good impression about your playing ability. So take it seriously. Don't strut, don't cruise through the day, right, because you think you've got a reputation or that you're a Man United Centre of Excellence or whatever. That means nothing.
Out of 40 or so boys, only a dozen will be selected. This is Umrit's opportunity to prove himself against the very best from his region.
As he's growing up now, it's more physical. When he was playing under 13, under 14, it's very easy for him. He was scoring lots of goals. But it's really competitive now.
Roy, we stood level with you. Number 3.
Each participant must quickly make an impression on these men.
You let him go 5 yards off and then he turned. You're going to go with him all the way.
Go on then.
And again.
Deliver. He takes too long, mate.
It's 2 touches.
Yeah. That's right.
Messiah, isn't it?
Yeah. Messiah Blake, that's right.
Go on, hammer it. Go on, hammer it. Pressure. Hammer it. Come on, look, hammer it. Well done, Murray. I do like him as well. Man to man, yeah. Look, little triangle there, 2 triangles. And again, look.
Certain players are linking
in and
well
out.
with each other.
In and out, look.
2 and 6.
4 passes.
You watch though. Look up. You watch my 2 centre backs positioning. Yeah, to each other. Look how far apart they are. Now.
That was 6 passes there between them 3.
Yeah.
Complement each other.
All depends on how you do on the day. Yeah, we were quite positive. We might get to this day.
Tucker.
Definitely Russell Burden.
Tucker.
Yes.
Right back.
Matthew Tucker, definitely. Okay.
Yeah.
Adam Murray.
The selection takes place immediately after the game.
5 at the back.
Yeah.
You're going to push him back, aren't you?
Marek Schmidt, yeah. He can do
And you've got Martin Reeves there as well.
Let's cross off the definites first. Marek Schmidt.
On this occasion, the gods are not smiling on Umbridge.
Yeah.
They're judging you on one game rather than a series of games. So if you play badly that game, then you're out the picture. There's a lot of schoolwork this year as well, and I've got to balance them both out as well.
Failing the trial forces a rethink on Umbridge. Despite his earlier hopes, he may have to take a conventional job. Suddenly, working hard at school is important. He has to hedge his bets by ensuring a reasonable grade in school. For the next year, he has to work hard for his GCSEs and train hard to stay at Derby. Since leaving the Sunday League, Ryan has been training hard twice a week with QPR, and he plays practice matches on Sundays, a far cry from the fun and games and excitement of West Hendon days.
Well played.
Koya and Ryan are now playing at the same age level, and West Ham have come away to play at QPR. As both turn 14, they hope that they'll be asked to sign schoolboy contracts with their respective clubs.
I don't think they've signed very many Asian boys on. A lot of Asian boys think that, that education comes first, far and foremost, than anything else, but it doesn't in Ryan's case. In his case, no.
Fortunately for Ryan, he has been selected to sign a schoolboy contract with QPR.
We would have here at the moment, if you ask me of our 120 kids currently registered in 1996, I would say to you that 40% would be of ethnic backgrounds, but one's an Asian. Ryan's the first Asian lad we've actually signed.
I feel sad because I'm handing him over now to someone else after all these years, 6 years of his coaching and my managing. I'm handing him over now. I'm taking a back seat. I can't tell him anything because he probably knows more about football than I do now and the way things are, and I'm not going to have to find different tactics to play with him.
Hi Kevin, how are you? Oh Ryan, pleased to meet you. Right, take a seat. Right, currently obviously you're on the Centre of Excellence forms with us, so we're now discussing the schoolboy form procedure, which takes you from 14 to 16 years of age, and the same with...
Ryan now hopes that training with QPR will improve his chances of getting into the England under-15 squad.
Right, super. Congratulations. Well done. Thanks very much, well done.
After an anxious wait, Koya has heard that he has failed in his bid to get a scholarship to the National School of Excellence.
I think it took it out of him, I really do. It's not being accepted. He built himself up that he wanted to get the scholarship, and to be to be knocked back was a big jolt to him, and I think it showed in his play after. His confidence went down, and I think he's just starting to get it back now at the right time.
But the good news is that West Ham have decided to sign him on as a schoolboy trainee. He is accompanied by Peter's wife and son.
Hiya. You know Koya? Quick story, I managed to
Nice to meet you. Welcome in.
He will be taken out onto the pitch, sign his forms on the pitch, introduced to the crowd, and we thought that's a big part for the boys. It's a special occasion for them, and we feel that, as I say, that it makes them feel part of the club. It introduces them to everyone in the club, supporters, players, managers, coaches, and we feel it's a good thing. Koya will be the 4th boy this year. We normally take about 10 associate schoolboy forms for boys each year, and try and bring them through then onto the YTS scheme. Koya now has been with us roughly 18 months. I suppose this is a big occasion for Koya, being his home team. He comes from Islington, and this is the Arsenal game tonight that he's signing on the pitch. So it's a big occasion for him, and the game that he chose that he wanted to sign on, I suppose. So, yes, hopefully it all goes well for him tonight.
Only a small percentage of boys who start with clubs at the age of 12 get to sign this contract at 14. By signing a schoolboy contract, Koya will face a more professional and competitive environment than he has ever faced before. Koya is now on the first rung of the ladder to professional football, but no one can predict how he will cope with the new pressures and demands that will be made on him.
So are you nervous about today?
Yeah, I think I'm quite nervous, yeah. It's a big stage if I get through, so I want to get through.
So do you think you're ready for it?
Yeah, ready for it.
Ryan's training at QPR has paid dividends. He's been invited for a trial for the England under-15s team. The best boys from the southeast region have been brought together to compete.
I'm trying to prevent myself from expecting too much. I think if he was to make the next session of trials, it'd be more than my expectations.
I think it's got harder because obviously the boys are all developing faster and quicker at different levels, and Ryan's just got to keep up there, you know, keep up there with all the others. It's just getting harder. And you can't do anything to help him, he's got to do it on his own. Kevin's thought it was better for him to go there, it would be helpful, you know, a bit more experience for him, so I didn't go, stayed at home, just worried at home. Didn't want to go there and see it.
They all look average, I mean, they all look as good as each other, so unless you do something special which catches their eye, I don't know how they're going to shortlist you, really.
What we're looking for is something special, because there are a lot of boys who play very good football. The centres of excellence now have been in existence for a good number of years, and boys of high technical ability are coming through. Unfortunately, this doesn't mean they can all play football at the highest level. There's temperament to take into account, for example. But technically, we're finding that boys are very good, and the differences between them may be very small.
After a grueling day in the rain, no one knows who will be amongst the chosen few.
They said they're going to write to us in the next 2 weeks, and they'll hold one more training session in London somewhere. That's all they said.
The day has not gone too well for Ryan, and there's an air of foreboding as he heads home to wait for the results.
When we arrive at Stansted, we go straight to the checkout and we're flying on Jersey European. Your expenses, 2 nights training, I've got, and I'll give you that. When we're back, when we're in the hotel at Belfast, it'll be easier to handle it that way. Right, I don't think there's anything else to say, but enjoy the tournament, behave yourself, and wish you luck. Let's come back with it like last year. Thanks, boys.
Coyer has made good progress since signing. He's been selected to play for West Ham in the Milk Cup competition in Ireland. Organised by the Irish Milk Board, the Milk Cup is the biggest competition of kids football in the British Isles.
The idea behind the whole trip really is to give the boys an insight into what travelling away from home is, living away from family, parents, and being in hotels and preparing for games.
West Ham have to play and win at least 7 games before they can make it to the final of the under-14s competition.
Phil, take them both with you.
Well done, Phil.
All the big Premier League clubs from Britain are there, and the competition is intense. Coyer and his lot get to the finals, and there's an air of celebration in the camp.
It was very hot, and every time we've played, we've had a lot of hot sunshine. When we brought them down here for the first time, they thought, oh, there's no way London boys go in the sea. And they did. They felt refreshed, and it's become sort of something they all want to do. After a very hot game, they've all come down here as a group, and like today, it's just been their choice.
Coming to the end now, it's been worth it. I mean, they're in the final, and whatever happens now, they've done well to get here. Some good teams here, and they've done well to get into the final. I think we'll win it. Lucky hotel we're in. We won it last year in the same hotel. So a bit of luck, we'll come back with the same trophy.
Steve Blackstone with the throw, looking for Rolo, but a little bit too high for him now is Leicester. A bull calling the ball for the ball right side, and here's a chance for West Ham, and they've scored, and it's Kelly.
Victory here earns Coyer a few accolades, but he still has a few hurdles to cross.
The 1997 Under-14 Milk Cup winners, West Ham United.
It's crunch time for Omrit. he hopes that Derby will give him a contract when he leaves school, rewarding his father, who has spent weekends and evenings ferrying him from training ground to football match.
And the youth development officer, Jerry Summers, he picks from all the under-16 boys which ones he's going to take on for apprenticeship.
Football is a physical game. You know, the pitches are big pitches. They've got to put themselves about, so they've got to be athletic as well. But you hang on to the talented ones, the skillful ones, as long as you possibly can. Amrit's always had that little bit of skill and touch, and he's developed physically and he's gone along with it. Well, I think he's had a lot of publicity for what he is now because he's an Asian. That's something he's got to live with.
We at Derby, being a Premier League club, we look at him as being a Premier League player. So for him to get that good, he has got to be very good.
And as long as we do the right thing, they'll be happy. Like what they coach us in training, we've got to show that we're listening by doing it on the football pitch, in matches.
Technical side, very good. Mental side, psychological performance, things like assertiveness, aggression, arousal, attitude, concentration, all very good. No problems there. Sunday, you got a lot of physical tackling, a lot of physical work on you by the opposition because, like I said, they're frightened of you. They're frightened of what the damage you can do to them. You're going to have to put up with that. And what's the best way to put up with that?
Scoring a goal.
Correct. So you don't retaliate, you don't do silly things, you don't push players, you just get on with it. And you stick it in the net and you run back to the halfway line. Great, you've done your job. Just the two things, awareness and vision. Any questions?
No.
Pleased with what you're doing so far?
Yeah, just got to improve on the things that I'm not good at.
What about yourself?
Yeah, I'm quite pleased with whatever you tell him. You should improve on the things and keep working hard on those things. You're going to improve your weakness. That's all.
He still needs 2 or 3 months of hard work and progression before I can start saying to him, here's going to be your chance in the Premier Youth League, which he'll be playing against boys possibly 4 years older than him.
To convince Derby County to give him an apprenticeship, Amrit must make the necessary improvements. He has only a few months to do so.
So that must improve. I think it will do.
Ryan failed in his bid to get into the England under-15 squad, and to add to his woes, his season with QPR gets off to an inauspicious start.
Does it hurt when you just do up and down like that? No?
No. 6 weeks ago now, I was in the Middlesex trials and I was tackled from behind and my ligaments went in my ankle and it all swelled up. So I went to the physio, QPR, for the next three weeks, yeah, and it slowly got better. And then yesterday in the playground, I was running around and I twisted on it again and it swelled up overnight. And I felt I was too uncomfortable to play today, so I'm just waiting for it to get better now.
Oh, it's very worrying, because with any injury, you know, you don't know what to expect and how quick they're going to heal. And it was taking its time to heal, you know. Every time he thought he was better, he'd go to school, probably play in the playground and hurt it again and it would swell up again. Every time, you know, I mean, it's been probably about a month now and it's still affecting him, so it is quite worrying. I wish it would heal and be completely healed.
Kevin's father has never quite accepted that football can be a career option for his grandson Ryan.
Football is a great game, international game. My son Kevin was one of them with Ray Wilkins in his early days, and I put him off. And of course he listened to me, and I said, your life is more important, your health is more important, because it's a very short-lived life, and trying to get something worthwhile. But now Ryan is in it, that's up to him to. He feels he missed his achievement, so he wishes for Ryan to do it.
So, do you sometimes wonder, do you feel bad about the fact that you didn't allow Kevin to become footballer?
No, I don't feel bad at all. I feel bad. I've done and right. For the simple reason, that's why he's standing on his own 2 feet, and independent, and he's flexible. Flexible time is his own.
how he works it and how he works it around his son. That's entirely up to him. I stand from the outside and look at what this...
I was about 11, 12 at the time.
We had a rough life in start. We had to make ends meet, and we had to sell some of our premium bonds to get insurances and to pay up our bills. So I had to work 2 jobs.
I suppose it's because you weren't interested in football anyway, were you? I mean,
I used to be interested in football, yes. I used to play football myself.
Yeah, but you never loved it. You never loved it. You never enjoyed it. You obviously didn't, otherwise you'd have come out and seen me play whenever you got a chance, or even come out and see your grandson play if you still love the sport. But you obviously.
But at the moment, to see my grandson play, I haven't got the time for that again, because though your mother's health is not all that good, nor is mine. See, nor is mine, because I also, besides my knee operation, I got a heart problem. So.
Well, one day if Ryan is playing a big game as a
then
professional,
I might be able to. Yeah. I might sit here. I had sacrificed a lot of things to bring these children up, and we had to go through really hell. Not as much. They haven't gone to the hell we've gone through.
Well played, Scott.
But Kevin is undeterred.
Well played, Harold. Keep it going, lads.
In fact, we're probably more involved in football now than even last year, but just not with one team, but with the 3 of them. I mean, I'm even trying to get my younger daughter into playing for a girls' team, but she's not interested, you know.
They're both good footballers. I mean, Dale, he plays for a team called Belmont at the moment. Aaron plays for a team called New Hanford, under 13s. He plays for under 9s. And they're promising young players. I mean, I dare say in due course that, well, I think this one more so will probably get picked up by a professional team. You know, I hope Ryan's injury doesn't become sustained in any way and hinder his chances. It's all, but I suppose all footballers have to live with these things.
I think basically we've just been concentrating on the little one, getting him involved with football.
Fortunately, Ryan's injury heals in time for him to attend training again. This is vital for Ryan, as he must make up for lost time if QPR are to give him a contract when he leaves school next year.
Good. OK. Not bad. Criticise yourself when you finish. You've got to take that time away from the defenders. If you don't take that time away from them, they have you. OK? So it's down, control, and away.
What I would say is that he has to keep making progress. And this is like not only a yearly thing, not only a monthly thing, it's a weekly thing that he's got to keep making progress, along with all the other boys. We've already stated that he's in a particularly strong group, and the same applies to all those boys. They can get themselves up to a certain level at any particular time in their life, and they may look outstanding. In a year's time, in 6 months' time, in even a month's time, that standard can drop off unless they keep working, keep progressing, keep listening, and keep going along the track of wanting to be a professional footballer.
Go, make it good! Well done!
His first year as an under-15, Koya is beginning to feel the heat. The training is more intense and the competition for place is very high. His schoolwork often suffers as he has to attend weekly training sessions. He has his sights firmly on signing that contract when he leaves school next year.
If he is running behind him, you may unsettle him.
No, he's got to work ever so hard this year. All the boys have. I mean, there's 20-odd kids out there that really are all pumping for the same thing. And you see it out there in the training session tonight. They really do want to work for it. But it's really got to be down to him putting it in. I mean, I can't go out on the pitch for him.
In the meantime, Peter tries to get a sponsorship deal for Koya.
I'm looking for some sort of sponsorship for him. It's getting very expensive now. He's getting a big fella. And really, I think he's coming to the stage now where he's going to be big news before long. And I just want to get the ball rolling for him at an early stage rather than like a big mad rush when he's 17.
Well, you know, I mean, we're really interested because we like to get in on the first rung of the ladder, really. So Koya fits right into what we're actually doing at the moment. And being you know, a young Asian footballer, I think that we feel very, very supportive.
How do you feel?
It's all right.
So what we'd like to do is maybe get you out of that sweatshirt that you've got on there and put you into one of ours and maybe give us a bit of a fashion show.
All right.
There you go.
It's not just for the glamour that Peter has taken this step. He wants Koya to stay focused on becoming professional, and this could give him the necessary incentive.
Really and truthfully, all these troubles and problems now will start. This is a big, big year for him now, 15/16s before he comes onto the staff, hopefully.
But something has happened that no one could have foreseen. Something that puts a question mark over his future with West Ham.
The only thing that he hasn't made, if there is anything there that could be a problem, it could be that he hasn't grown any from 11, 12 years of age up till now. He's an under 15. He hasn't basically grown too much. You know, we would like to say, you know, Koya, are you 6 foot? Which would be nice.
At the moment, his size is not helping him because he's playing against much bigger kids. But I think once he starts filling out, he's still going to grow maybe 4 or 5 inches. And if he fills out, I don't think that's going to matter. His ability's there anyway.
Left 2! Left 2!
If you've got natural ability like Zola, well then obviously size doesn't mean a thing. But that's extraordinary ability. And if Koya ends up with extraordinary ability at the end of next season, well, he'll be taken. There won't be a question at all about that. Size won't even come into it. But all I'm saying to you is size is a big help. You know, it isn't the be end and end all, but it's a big help.
So the gaffer's there, he'll give you a chance. If you're doing the business, you will have the chance to do it here. You can get in that first team and make a name for yourself.
It's what I've really been working towards for the last 5 years since I've been at the club, trying to get a YTS at the club. And from here now, it's like trying to get a professional contract. Next 2 years are going to be like training hard, working hard, improving. You've got to improve in the next 2 years, physically and mentally, and you've got to improve your skills. So, and then at the end of the 2 years, see what you get.
Time will be spent on you in talking to you about such things as media training, the laws of the game, alcohol, lifestyle, gambling, financial planning.
It's just a step forward. I mean, it's not the final achievement. It's still a long way to go. And that's what we've been waiting for 5 years. That day will come when you will be officially become YTS and become a part of the youth team.
So if you'd like to just sign there, and then we're going to ask either your mum or dad to witness it.
Well, I think he's going to be given an opportunity, as all young apprentices are. He's going to give me an opportunity to become a millionaire. That is the chance they have. It's a tremendous chance to get money, to be doing something that nearly all of them would do anyhow if they weren't, they'd be playing in Sunday football.
Thank you very much. I'd like to wish you all the very best, and I hope you have a very successful time in Derby County. Thank you very much.
Ryan has received the good news that he'll be given a contract with QPR when he leaves school next year. Ryan's granddad has decided to come and see Ryan play. This is the first football game he's been to in over 30 years.
Call it.
Perhaps his reluctant acceptance of Brian's career choice is a sign that a generational change is taking place as more and more Asian kids take to football.
He's got to set his goals high right from the start. And I've always told him that you've got to be looking at playing for England by 2006 World Cup.
Will we one day see a nation playing football in the Premier League or for England? It's up to Amrit, Ryan, Koya and others like them to make footballing history.